Hey folks, this is Phil again. Yeah, the third time today if you watch all my videos. After the New Japan Pro Wrestling Best of the Super Juniors Day 13 and the finals, plus a short look back at the tournament. This video is about the upcoming NXT Takeover, the End pay-per-view special event on the network, which will be held tonight. A lot of wrestling in the last days, a lot of wrestling, for me at least. And well, I'm gonna give you a short rundown of the card and a few predictions. The first match, I think, will be Andrade Almas versus Dillinger. And well, if you watched my other videos, you know that I don't really follow the weeklies of WWE because most of the time I think they're rather boring. The pay-per-views, of course, I watch always and live, no matter if that means I get 2 hours sleep tops. So, well, I read the results of the dailies, of course. Anyway, I don't know Andrade Almas, who was, well, I know him as La Sombra, and Ty Dillinger is a mystery man to me. I don't really know him, so I cannot say much about this match. Well, La Sombra is good, so this match should be pretty entertaining, still pretty short, and yeah, if I gotta pick a winner, I'd go with Andrade Almas, because sooner or later WWE needs somebody for the Latin world who can draw there. I don't really see Mystico, who isn't really a Mexican or a Latino, as far as I know, drawing that much, especially as he's mostly involved in tag team action with Sin Cara. And so, yeah, Alberto Del Rio is a heel, and yeah, he draws, but maybe La Sombra can really help with that. And of course, they need to push him in order to do that. So, next match is Aries versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and I'm really looking forward to that one, because I just love Shinsuke Nakamura. He's fucking awesome. He's great. He's really great. And those of you who didn't know him before the NXT Takeover Dallas, they know what they're in for with him. He's awesome and possibly the Japanese guy who can, aside from maybe Katsuchika Okada or Hiroshi Tanahashi, who can really make a big break in America. I like Kenta or Hideo Itami, but I don't see that happening for him as fast as it will happen for Shinsuke Nakamura. And yeah, on the other hand, Austin Aries. Austin Aries was great in ROH. He was great when he wrestled in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla. And yeah, he's always been awesome. And Double A even was responsible for the last TNA matches that really got me going, like, yes, that's wrestling. And that were his matches against Bobby Roode and Jeff Hardy. Well, after that, TNA really went downhill even further, but yeah, I'm going to take a look at TNA in the upcoming series with the promotions, where I'll take a closer look at the promotions and talk a little bit about them. Well, obviously the last days I didn't really have time to work on it, so it will follow shortly. Aries versus Nakamura should be great, really great match. In my opinion, it will be the match of the night, because we saw Zayn and Nakamura do what they did, and it was awesome. With Aries, I have high hopes that it will be just as awesome. Next is the NXT Tag Team title match between American Alpha and The Revival. Before Takeover Dallas, I knew The Revival. I haven't seen anything of American Alpha, and yeah, well, it was one of the best matches of the night, and at an NXT special event that really says something. And yeah, I am going with American Alpha here, because with Aries Nakamura, I'm going with Nakamura. American Alpha versus The Revival, I don't see any point in giving the titles back to The Revival at this point, because sooner or later they should be the ones who are called up to the main roster, because the tag team division with the Usos being involved in the main event feud and the main event feud, and Anderson and Doc Gallows or Luke Gallows, being involved with AJ Styles. I don't really know if they can really compete in that much classic tag team action for the tag team titles, and WWE needs good tag teams on the main roster, and they just called up the Vaudevillains and Enzo Amore and Big Cass, but I think the Revival should follow shortly, and them winning back the titles here, I don't see much sense in it, so American Alpha should win this, and the match, of course, will be good too. The NXT Women's title match between Nia Jax and Asuka. I'm hoping Asuka will win this, because I just don't see Nia Jax being a legitimate women's champion. It would hurt the division, because you have big gals like Awesome Kong who really can wrestle, who have a lot of power, and who work wonders in the ring. With Nia Jax, you don't have that. At least I don't see it. I mean, she doesn't really have power, and she's just a huge girl that throws her weight around, and not always in a way that makes for a good wrestling match. It's like Bertha Faye in the mid-90s against Landra Blaze. That's hard to say about Nia Jax, but she's a big gal that mostly uses her weight, not her power. And Asuka, they did a good story with Bayley, and it worked. It wasn't a good match or a great match, but the story really worked. In order for a Nia Jax match to be at least decent, they need to work the same or at least a similar story again. And I'm not looking forward that much to it, but hopefully Asuka will win and face more formidable opponents who really can have a great match with her, because Asuka, she's a small lady, and but still she's great, and she needs opponents she can really work with, because she can kick the crap out of Nia Jax, but that just helps so much. The NXT title match, the steel cage match between Samoa Joe and Finn Balor, will most likely be the main event. And I'm gonna be honest here, Samoa Joe winning the title at a house show, I'm not a fan of that. But he did, and now he has to defend his title against Balor, who wants his rematch. And I see Joe winning here, because Balor needs to be called up to the main roster, because the timing is just perfect, with AJ Styles and Anderson and Gallows being in there. You have some Bullet Club guys there, and Finn Balor was the first leader of the Bullet Club, so there's gotta be a story somewhere that even WWE booking cannot ignore, especially as they have teased a lot of the club stuff. Most people should know by now that AJ Styles, Gallows, Anderson, Balor all were involved with the Bullet Club in New Japan Pro Wrestling, or at least in Japan. And thus, Joe should win here, because if Balor is NXT champion, there's no chance in him being called up, or just a small chance. And you need a guy like Joe, who's was a great worker and is on his way to showing his greatness off again. He fell into a little bit of a slouch pace while in TNA, because they didn't utilize him. And the first match between Balor and Joe I was like, it wasn't a bad match, but I've seen a lot of Samoa Joe matches in Ring of Honor, in TNA, in Japan, and in Pro Wrestling Korea. And that's his standard stuff he did there. And it was like, I could almost call all of his spots. And But the other matches between those two were better, even if the last one at NXT Takeover Dallas, with the cut, it really destroyed a little bit of the match on the one hand. On the other hand, it helped the match a little bit because it made it more realistic and and intense. So hopefully this will be even better, and I think a steel cage match between those two should be great. And as I said, Joe should win here because you need a solid guy like him who can always be involved in the main events in NXT, make a good opponent for a new upcoming guy, possibly even a great match against Aries or Nakamura for the title. And yeah, he doesn't need to be in the main roster. You need some solid stars in NXT, and those stars shouldn't be guys like Rhino who are past their prime, but guys like Joe who still are great. So, looking at the match, I don't see any, Almas, Dillinger, I don't know, but the other matches, aside Asuka versus Nia Jax, should be good or even great. Asuka, Nia Jax, well, depends on how they do the storyline. Well, hopefully not too much Nia Jax dominating with her weight. Not because of her skill, but because of her weight. But we're gonna see. Hopefully you'll tune in tomorrow for the review. I cannot promise you at which time it will be online, but if all goes well, it's online here in Germany. It's online around around noon. So hopefully you'll enjoy NXT Takeover the end as much as I hopefully will. And so long.